Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eunhee Park. Today, I would like to talk about the lives of North Korean women. People often say to me, "You always look so happy and positive. You must have grown up in a very good environment in North Korea." They assume that I was born happy and positive. This would be a mistake. Gandhi once said, "Behind the happiness, there is a sorrow. Behind the sorrow, there is a happiness." The way to overcome is not to get rid of them, but get over them and to become free from obsession. As a young woman, it took a tremendous amount of effort and determination to choose to look at the bright side of life. It is this effort and determination that has brought me here before you. When the media talks about North Korea, the focus is on Kim Jong-un, nuclear weapons, poverty, and starvation. Let's not forget about the lives of ordinary North Korean people, especially women who strive to pursue their own happiness in a broken country. I was born in 1991 in Wonsan on the east coast of North Korea, near South Korean border. It is also the birthplace of Kim Jong-un, who appears in the media like a famous pig. You could say he is North Korea's most iconic animal. As a child, whenever I saw people who have big eyes, big noses, I thought they were all American bastards. I was taught that Americans were our worst enemy who had brutally massacred our people. But it turns out that the world is really diverse and full of beauty. Where I came from, the foreigners were American bastards, but here in South Korea, same bastards volunteered to teach English to North Korean refugees. What a beautiful world. Growing up, I had bigger dreams about freedom. Secretly, I had watched many South Korean dramas and American movies. I wanted to have long hair or even dye my hair to different color. I wanted to wear earrings and wear hot pants in the summer. I wanted to walk around the streets freely like other girls I saw in the South Korean dramas. But the freedom that I wanted as a young girl was only possible in a dream in North Korea. Wearing earrings and wearing hot pants, it was so completely forbidden in North Korea. And even hairstyles are a matter of strict state policy. Many times, I was forced to stand in the police station without any food or water for several hours as punishment for violating the policy. It wasn't until I got older that I began to understand the true nature of North Korean regime and its oppression of North Korean people, especially women. An estimated 3 million people starved to death in North Korea in the 90s during the Arduous March. North Korean mothers, having experienced such a tragedy, learned they could not rely on the government. In order to survive, they created 장마당, a capitalist marketplace. They put food on the table when their husbands worked at state-run factories without any compensation. Even though the North Korean regime saw the sacrifices being made by these mothers, the regime still deprived these women of their rights. Even today, the regime's control is so complete as to regulate what you wear and how your hair looks. With these regulations, the regimes cement their authority and controls everyone's lives, especially the lives of women who work countless hours in the marketplace to support their families. These regulations create an environment where women are subjected to sexual violence. It is normal for state officials to demand sex from women in exchange for better and safer work assignments. I long for the day when the Me Too movement will sweep across the North Korea. This injustice is just one of the pains that North Korean women must endure to survive in the harsh reality of North Korean regime. With the extraordinary inner strength, these women have become the backbone of the North Korean society. Even though these mothers have desired beauty like all of women in the world, they choose to accept pains of living under the brutal dictatorship in order to support their families. These women know true meaning of get over it. As a child, I thought of myself as an orphan born to an unfortunate fate, even though I had parents. When I was 5 years old, my parents got divorced. After the divorce, my father remarried and started another family, while my mother mentally unstable and physically abusive. I got scared of my mother and her physical abuse. Eventually, she was sent to mental hospital and I moved in with my grandparents. Living with my grandparents wasn't easy. They ferried me back and forth from my parents' home, causing me to change schools often. With the frequency of my moves, I rarely had a chance to build personal bonds with anyone. My grandfather wrote a poem for me saying, "My father lives here, my mother lives there. Where do I live now?" In North Korea, they say, children who grow up without parents don't have manners, and crazy parents result in crazy children, something like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Out of fear of being ridiculed, whenever my friends asked me about my friends, I said that they had died. I said this because I didn't want to be defined by my parents' divorce or by mother's mental condition. Unlike what society expected, I did not become an ill-mannered or crazy person. I refused to accept a negative characterization made worse by living under the brutal dictatorship. Instead, I chose freedom. Freedom to become my own person. Freedom to choose and define my own future. But most importantly, the realization that searching for the better future was not to change my past, but to live my life in my own terms. In 2012, I escaped North Korea to find freedom. I chose to define my own future instead of letting life in North Korea define me. But escaping wasn't easy. It took 4 years preparation before I crossed the North Korean border into China. The out of fear being caught didn't subside once in China. I was even sexually assaulted on a bus, but couldn't say anything out of fear of being discovered as a North Korean refugee. About a week later, I crossed the Chinese border into Laos with other North Korean refugees by hiking over a mountain for 7 hours. From Laos, the smugglers brought us to cross the Mekong River into Thailand. Many hungry crocodiles were just one of our many worries. In Thailand, we are free and told to turn ourselves into any police stations. For 50 days, I sat in Thai police jail waiting for refugee status to come through before being put on a flight to South Korea. But life in South Korea came with its own challenges. It wasn't all fun and games. The resettlement in South Korea and the associated economic hardship was very difficult for a lone female refugee without family support. But what was even more difficult was seeing how North Korean people were being defined and characterized by South Korean media. Currently, there are 25 million people living in North Korea, and 32,000 have escaped to South Korea. And according to the South Korean Ministry of Unification, about 72% of them are women. The media seems to focus mainly on negative issues related to North Korea, such as Kim Jong-un, dictatorship, and hunger. While I understand that negative issues make for great ratings, they also deprived North Korean people of being depicted as individuals, not merely uniform body being governed by a brutal dictatorship. With TV sitcoms like Namnam Pungyo, a show about a fictional marriage North Korean women between North Korean women and South Korean men, the producers portray the North Korean woman as a young and beautiful and submissive wife. This ignores the true beauty and strength of North Korean women. In reality, South Korean men who marry North Korean defectors report being disappointed when their wives do not meet the submissive stereotype. This creates conflicts. In my opinion, the media can feature North Korean women in more diverse ways. As a woman, as a North Korean refugee, I can say that I never thought I was deprived simply because I was born in a poor country, nor am I pure or submissive. North Korea is more than just Kim Jong-un, dictatorship, and hunger. Summoning up their ultimate courage, many North Korean women overcame extraordinary challenges to escape North Korea. They risked their lives to find freedom and define their own futures. We can all start today by acknowledging the strength and character of North Korean women. Like these women, we can all choose to look beyond the despair and into the brighter side. This would create much better world for everyone. Thank you.